Alright, hello everybody again. Welcome back. We are here in round one of this cube draft. Our opponent has chosen to play first. He is Jinpig, or however you want to pronounce that. This hand's pretty solid. We have the turn 2 Knight's Whisper if we want it, but we're on the draw, so we probably won't. And we have Mimic Vat, which is really good, so I'm definitely not mulliganing this hand. So obviously the March Flats is slightly dead now that we've got the or it's just not dead, but it's not as good now that we don't have the now that the Badlands is in our hand. But you know, with that, so we draw a Curse Scroll, play it out, might as well. Opponent starts off with a Vivid Marsh, so probably playing black, but you know, some sort of control deck with really good mana. Vivids are really good in cube. They fix your mana very nicely, and they're cheap to boot. Okay, I'm gonna play a Badlands. And if I play the Night's Whisper, I will... I can play Night's Whisper, yeah, because I had the turn 1 play. We draw 2 and lose 2. We pick up a couple more land, which is definitely not the worst. Now we have a good grip of land with all our colors, so... with that. So our opponent looks like he's black, blue, green, some sort of like control-esque deck. Trigon Predator. Oh, Thea has joined our game. That Trigon Predator is going to die to a Chain Lightning because we just can't have that, especially when we've got this Curse Scroll out. We'll pass the turn. Next turn, if our opponent doesn't play anything, we need to immediately kill, because I have to kill that. I can't just play Mimic Vat into Trigon Predator. Then we'll hopefully just run out the Vat. Kodama's Reach, that's... oh, that's one of my friends. It's one of my friends from my local GameStop. Cultivate, same thing as Cultivate in essence. Opponent gets Island Swamp, so yeah, some sort of black, blue, green deck. We have to be wary of, well, all those good things. Counter spells, big creatures, removal. Oh, Library, that's a pretty good one to have drawn. Gonna play out this Vat. And ship the turn. So opponent now has 6 mana, which means Titans are live, but really they're not, because we can terminate and then put them on Vat. So we are looking pretty well set here. I'm debating just not playing a land and saying go, so that we can draw an extra card off a library. But I don't know. I think it's fine if we just play. I wouldn't mind having a... Yeah, I think we're just going to commit to play our spells. I'm going to play the Icy. Our opponent has Mystic Snake, which is pretty solid, countering our Icy. It's even more sweet on a Mimic Vat. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to live the Mimic Vat Mystic Snake dream. If he doesn't do something to stop us, Skull Clamp. That's pretty good. And Body Double to double the Trigon Predator, I'm assuming. Alright, we got no problems there. We'll take 2. Our opponent has 2 cards in hand, so, we're looking pretty solid here. We got a nice full grip. Ooh, Arc Lightning. Gonna play the Marsh Flats and break it. Get ourselves a Swamp. And I'm just going to run out the Inferno Titan and kill Trigon here. Can't let him destroy the vat, and also putting Inferno Titan underneath Mimic Vat is pretty sexy. So we deal 3 damage to the Trigon, and we will be putting it underneath our Mimic Vat. So next turn we might just destroy his Skull Clamp, but it really depends what he... Oh wait, oh that's a... forgot that's a body double. Even better, even better. Just make hasty Trigon Predators. Seems good, seems good. Opponent plays down a Mirror Battlesphere. Again, not something we're overly concerned with. I'm actually going to just wreck his face by terminating it and then making a body double copy. Terminating it and then putting it underneath the old Mimic Vat. So he's drawn a bunch of cards with Mirror Battlesphere and Skull Clamp, which is pretty sick, but I don't see us losing this game, what with the sick Mimic Vat engine we have going on. Obviously our opponent cannot attack. So the play is we Mirror Battlesphere, we terminate the Mirror Battlesphere, then we attack with Inferno Titan, wipe out all his mirror, and continue to crush face. Yeah, we'll trade Battlesphere for body double, I guess. Oh, I guess I should have left an extra red up, but this is pretty disgusting getting a bunch of mirror every turn. Don't see us losing this game. So, Inferno Titan triggers, and then we will use the Battlesphere. Untap all our mirror. We're really in no danger here. He jumps, yep. Our opponent has to hit a mass removal spell, and even then, we just... no. As awesome as countering all your spells are, I would like to just win the game. Again, just notice how powerful this Mimic Vat is, because it's got so much synergy. Although, to be fair, we've been using our opponent's creatures, which have been really good for it as well. And we pick up game 1 in spectacular fashion. Nothing like making a Mirror Battlesphere every turn. So, he is a blue-black-green control deck bug. We saw a Skull Clamp out of him, and we saw a Mirror Battlesphere, so I have no problems bringing in the Oxidus Scrap Melter, and I'm going to bring out the Curse Scroll. Bring out the Curse Scroll, as most of his guys were relatively decent sized, and this takes up a lot of mana. So, with that, we'll submit. See you in the next round, or in the next. Alright, we are in game 2. We will not mulligan this hand. We do need to draw a land, but our opponent is on the play, so I don't mind. Savage lands, opponent's mana burst looks pretty good. What with the Savage lands, the Vivid land, and then the Kodama's Reach and Tundra, really. Into second turn Sylvan Library, alright. Our opponent will be getting some card selection and or advantage here. We do need to draw that land though next turn, and if we do, we should be set. I'm just going to auto yield to this because it seems like it might take a while. I just love how much removal we have. Like Liliana's Spectre is the only card that can't kill something. In that, like Nighthook's in essence a removal spell. Just pause it while our opponent resolves this trigger. Alright. Golgari Rot Form. I assume bouncing back the Tundra. And we hit our land like a boss. I'm going to Spectre here. Okay, again, I'll just pause. So our opponent drew a couple cards off the Sylvan Library. Which is interesting. So our opponent's going to play land, play some threat, sort of. Oh, he says it's a misclick. So yeah, it's not exactly the sort of thing you want to be. You don't want to just take a bunch of life every turn. Chameleon Colossus, that's a card just actually wrecks us. Yeah, that actually just destroys us. So we hit another mountain. So what I think we actually might have to do is play Scrap Melter, then hopefully we can attack, he'll block, and then we can Fire Imp it to death. Yeah, I think that's the play. So we obviously get in with Spectre. We can actually race decently well. Yeah, we can race decently well now that because of that misclick he had. Because if he wants to pump his Colossus, he has to pretty much tap out for his turn. So, if he gets in for 4, plays a guy, or hopefully he just doesn't get in for 4 for fear that we kill him. Here, I'll see what else we have in the board for that Colossus. The Flame Javelin's probably coming in. And, yeah, that's really the only thing we have against it. But it's definitely something. Well, looks like we might be one of the last rounds. Although we did play pretty fast. Although we were a little late getting started. As we've got a bunch of observers. Our opponent brings out Trigon Predator, which we're fine with. Doesn't attack. Murderous Redcap. I think I'm just going to attack with this Scrap Melter here. People saying that this is the cool match and the other one's really slow. So, it should be pretty obvious we have something, but our opponent really can't afford to not block here. Oh, okay, I guess he does. And I'm going to play a Necrotal. If our opponent plays an artifact, it would be pretty sick to Slave of Bolas his Trigon, if he had an artifact, and then kill it, but we'll just Necrotal it instead. Like, obviously I should have Necrotal pre-combat, I guess, but I just wanted to, if he blocks, then I can Fire Imp. Although now we are in a rather commanding board state. The interesting thing, though, is that why would he not attack last turn if he wasn't going to block my scrap melter anyway, right? So, it's one of those times where you say, like, if you're not going to block, you do have to ask yourself, well, I might as well attack, because, you know, he has pro block. Like, I think he should have blocked there, and then forced me to play something, because he's still probably getting a 2-for-1 on that. And then, like, he's on the defense, though, but if he can cast, like, a Grave Titan or something, well, I don't know, even with my Spectre flies, but, like, he has to stabilize now, and he can't afford to pump Colossus now. Phantom Sensor, wow, Pro Black. Okay, that's pretty sick. Although this hand does have a lot of reach, so, because we have, that can hit players, but Red Cap can hit players. Siege Gang is a nice draw. So, I think we just attack, oh man, that's so harsh. I think we actually just attack with Spectre here. Attack with Spectre here, and then we put him to 5. And we play out Nighthawk. Nighthawk is useful because it can fly over and it will gain us a little bit of life. I don't want to trade Scrap Melter for 1 counter off the Centaur. Just want to point out that if our opponent hadn't misclicked with that Cellular Library, we'd probably be out of this game. What with the double Pro Black guys. I really like I like this sort of deck. You know, just a bunch of guys that have really good effects and are hard to deal with. But he has a higher curve than us. He's a slower deck. We are mid-range where he's control, I would say. Oh, he went to 1? Interesting. Like, we can't lose this. Misclick of death. Yeah, unfortunately. That is kind of rough for our opponent. It's there's some cards in Moto that just they really work awkwardly. I know Channel is kind of one. I know I've had troubles with Channel before. If you accidentally click 1 too many times, you kill yourself. Yeah, so we've won this game, but really it's not through any brilliance of our own. In fact, we probably would have lost this game if we had if our opponent hadn't misclicked, because he really should be at, well, he should be at 13 with 3 fewer cards in hand. But like, that's a lot harder position for us to come from. Yeah, and he concedes. Alright, so not the greatest way to win a match, but I guess we'll take it. See you in round 2.